What's up, my dudes? My name is Sister Turley, and this is the track review of Mission Valley. So it's old school, it's legendary, and I could tell it was old school from the first lap I rode on this track, and that's something that's really cool that I just recently discovered about this game, that I could pretty much ride on any track out there and tell you what year it was from without knowing anything about the track. So that's pretty cool, man. Like, all of the different years of tracks, they all have a similarity to them. Like, you know, the 2011s all kind of feel the same, and the 2012s all kind of feel the same. And it's not just the AMA tracks or just the custom tracks. It's like all of the tracks from that certain year just have a certain vibe to them, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, they just have that certain feeling to them, and that's a really cool thing that's kind of how it is in real life too. And that's crazy how MX Simulator is always evolving with the way the tracks are made and the way the ruts are made and the way the jumps are made, and that's without actually changing the game at all. That's just simply how the creators choose to build the tracks. So that's a really cool thing. Just think if JLV went in there and changed how the ruts could be made and how the jumps could be made, and how, I don't really know how he would do that, because you can basically build anything you want to build currently. So, but you know what I mean, like just kind of how the ruts are and how some of the different ways that you can build peaks and stuff like that. It could be changed in a system to where then it would really feel different. But even the way it is now, like you can get all the different years of tracks feeling completely different from each other. And I'm sure a lot of you beginner riders definitely are not a big fan of that on some of the newer 2016 tracks, but that's kind of how it is in real life. Like, if you notice, some of these newer real life supercross tracks, they're gnarly, dude. Like, they're peaked triples right out of a corner. I mean, you would have to get perfect traction and seat bounce it. I wouldn't even want to attempt to hit a triple right out of a corner on a 250F, man. That would be sketch balls. So, yeah, I don't know how those dudes do it, but it's crazy, man. And that's, you know, the tracks are evolving and the bikes are evolving, but we're still human beings. So I don't know where that's going to go eventually, but if these tracks keep getting more gnarly and more gnarly, they're going to have to improve the gear or improve something, or give us an adrenaline pill that makes it to where we can't feel anything when we crash and break 20 bones or something. Like, they're going to have to do something, because it's going to get to that point where, you know, like the technology is outrunning the actual human nature. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to get crazy like that. But with a video game like this, you can make a crazy supercross track and it's not that big of a deal. But I mean, in real life, they're going to have to figure something out, because, man, those tracks are getting gnarly. But anyways, don't want to go off on another Spencer Turley rant. Let me try to talk about the track a little bit, okay? So, reason why you clicked on this video, but I know a lot of you guys do like my Spencer Turley random rants, so I don't know. I guess I'll try to throw those in every once in a while, but I try to make separate videos for that, but gotta bear with that a little bit. But yeah, this track is cool, man. It's got that just natural, fun, flow, realistic motocross style to it. And that's one of those things that's probably the hardest thing to do when you're making a custom track, is getting the elevation to feel natural and getting the jumps to feel natural. That's one thing that, if you don't really put your mind to it and really focus on it, you'll have a track that looks completely man-made and doesn't even look realistic at all. And that happens a lot, because when you're trying to use your imagination and really think about track layouts, it's hard to do that on the fly while you're making your custom track. Unless you're building a replica track, then you kind of have something to go by. But if you're just building a random motocross track, a lot of times you'll notice you'll build the whole thing and then you'll go back and look at it and be like, where is the elevation? Where's the natural feeling? Where's the, you know, the actual motocross feeling to it? And that's one thing that a lot of the older tracks really captured that on this game. So that's a really cool thing. Like, just how some of these jump faces, they're kickered out and they got some rough bumps on them and stuff. And And that's one thing, you can't be scared to try things when you're building a track, because I'm telling you, some of the best sections on my custom tracks that I've ever made were made by accident. Literally, I didn't sit down and go, okay, this is how I want to make this section, or this is how I want to make this rut, or this is how I want to make this corner. It was simply from trial and error. You know, I would try this and that didn't really work, and I tried this and, oh, well, that kind of works. So then I smoothed this out, and then I raised this over here, and then, oh my gosh, this section is amazing, and I didn't even mean to actually do it. So I'm telling you, that happens more times than not when you're building a custom track on this game. But this track is cool, man. Just, you can tell, I mean, just kind of up and down the hills, and, you know, rollers here, and just fun old school track, man. But one thing you'll notice about it is the on-track decal is very similar to the off-track decal, and that can get a little confusing when you're just starting to ride on the track. First couple laps, it's kind of hard to tell what's on track and off track, but it's not too bad once you throw down a couple laps on it. So but yeah, man, some nice trees off the track, some different types of trees, and just looks pretty good overall. Got some rocks there, and it's just a chill. This is one of those tracks that not necessarily a full-blown beginner would be riding on, but somebody that's between a beginner and like an intermediate type rider, or even an intermediate type rider. This is kind of your track right here. It's not too crazy on the jumps. It's not too wild as far as the ruts in the corners. This track has more of those ruts that are just down in the ground, and they're really big, so you don't have to focus so much on making sure your front tire perfectly goes in the rut. Like, they're bigger, more like berms, so this track's a little bit more forgiving like that. But you can see it right there, just even though I spun out on it. Oh yeah, it's easy, dude. Meanwhile, I'm freaking spinning the whole back wheel around on it like I'm cross-rutting like crazy. But you can see just the natural, man, that's so hard to do. And just imagine that on a track when you're making a track, trying to actually have like off-cambered sections and stuff like that. I'm telling you, that's the hardest thing to do when you're building a custom track, but it's so worth it when you do nail that aspect of it. Like, there's no other feeling like having a track that has the right kind of off-cambered feeling and the right elevation to it. Oh, dude, you can't beat it. So this track's definitely nailed that aspect of it, but all the jumps pretty chill. There's that one little rhythm section type thing over there that's a little bit tricky, and that one triple right there, it's got a nice kicker on the face of it. May only be on the right side. That's one thing you got to understand about jumps with kickers. A lot of times it's only kickered out on one side of the jump face, so you may just, you know, if you notice yourself getting a crazy kick over a jump every lap, try hitting it a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, and you may not get that same kicker off of it. And that's a cool thing. When you really, a lot of times I'll accidentally build jumps like that, and you almost have to build jumps like that on accident, because it's hard to go in there and make a jump face that has a kicker right here, but it's not as kickery on the left or the right side, or whatever the case may be, if you know what I'm saying. That's really hard to just go in there and build. But I'm telling you, dude, most of the time that kind of stuff is built on accident, but it's so awesome when it does come together on a track. So but yeah, as far as the off track, got some just simple trees, not too crazy as far as a ton of different objects. Got some cacti over there, so it's got that desert kind of vibe to it. So just pretty chill, pretty cool, and ruts are not too bad. The roughness is not too crazy, so it's definitely probably more for those beginner, intermediate style riders. But this rhythm section right here is a little tricky. You could probably do like a triple, maybe able to quad in there somewhere. I'm not really sure, but yeah, man, fun track, no doubt. So I'm going to give it a 9 overall, and I'm going to say the difficulty is, I'm going to say it's medium. So anyways, I appreciate all of you watching these videos, and I'll keep on making them.